Howdy all. I am sick of being a fat fuck and I want to do something about it. I guess really starting this off I got on the scales this morning and I'm sitting at 123.5 kilos, and I can assure you that's not all muscle. And like as you can see from the photos here, yeah, I got a lot of fat, particularly on my hips, my legs, my ass, pretty much fucking everywhere, man. Look at my fucking man titties right there. They're disgusting. Anyway, so right now, on my walk to the gym, which you can sort of see from the map here, is a little distance, 30 to 40 minutes, depending how fast you walk. And yeah, I feel like this is another area of my life I need to improve on. I've had some successes in the last couple of months, so I finally overcome my nicotine addiction. So back when I was pretty much since the start of law school, really, I was smoking billies and weed pretty much every single day, just to cope with the stress and the volumes of work reading that I had to do. And I was getting good grades, and I thought, why not? Weed's not addictive. I'll getting good grades, occasionally going to the gym, it won't hurt me. And yeah, I ended up smoking weed for nearly 5 or 6 years, and to help me basically, and throughout that 6-year period, I quit. Well, I said I would quit and tried to quit at least, and I'm not exaggerating here when I say this, at least 50, 60 times, because when I'd smoke weed, I'd eat a lot of bad food, which would put on weight, and then I would feel bad about myself and how I looked. So I would smoke, and then I'd eat the food, and it was just a vicious cycle. And I knew it was a cycle, but I just couldn't break out of it. So I needed something. Sorry, I'm just crossing the road. So I needed something to break me out of that cycle, and yeah, I came across vapes, and some nice flavored vapes. And then I was able to gradually wean myself off weed, which was great. Mental headspace was awesome. I had I think it's my ghrelin levels, which is the hormone that's responsible for regulating hunger. I think they re-baselined, so I wasn't eating as much anymore, which was good. And yeah, but then obviously I started vaping for a while, and then I did the maths. Turned out that was nearly 3.5 full years of vaping. Anyway, all that's to say, I've finally given that up. So I'm about 2 months clean, I guess, if you want to. Well, it is a drug, yeah. 2 months clean. No cravings for it, no anything whatsoever. But the next addiction in my life that I've just started to overcome today was gaming. I gamed way too much. Like I played this game called Arena Breakout, and I spent nearly 2,000 hours playing that fucking game. That's like 2 languages I put along it during that time frame, but it is what it is. And yeah, I decided as well, like, to sort of keep the momentum going off my success of not vaping anymore, was to sort of lose weight, really hook into it. So I'm basically just creating like this little YouTube channel just to sort of document my journey, more so for me. Like, if there's a couple of people out there that sort of want to follow me along the journey, that's cool, but I really want to use this as, like, in a couple of years time, if I got my kids, or my wife, future wife, or whatever, I can look back and be like, hey, this is, who I was a couple of years ago, and then compare it to where I am now. Because I think as humans, I think it's probably based in being, wanting to survive, but we tend to remember a lot of our failures and shortcomings, but we really quickly forget our successes and the obstacles we've overcome. Well, at least my brain does anyway. I'd be like, oh great, finished law school, cool. Haven't got a house yet. Haven't got a girlfriend yet. Haven't got money yet. And then you sort of just disregard that shortcoming. And I noticed that with vaping. Like when I finally gave up vaping, I was like, okay, cool. But you're still fat. You still eat like shit. You still play video games instead of studying or working like to your fullest potential. You're not fluent in Russian yet. Like there's all these other aspects of life that you've not yet accomplished or even successful in. So I feel like this channel can also help, reinforce the small successes in life that I want to achieve. But yeah, so that's sort of the overall theme that I'm going with. I don't really want this first video to be too long because I just want to just get a video up and just get the habit going. But basically how I plan, what my goal is essentially I want to cut down from 123.5, which I'm at now. I want to cut down to about 103 kilos. I've naturally, because I'm 6'1", and I'm naturally a bigger guy, right? So 103 seems to be a good weight for me. When I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I find my strength is pretty good, and my cardio is also good. I've got as low before body weight because I've lost weight before to compete in training, jiu-jitsu competitions and things. But I would cut the weight, do the comp, and then just put it back on. I've got as low as 93 kilos before, but I was just too weak, and the calorie deficit was cooked. But I think I cut too fast and fucked my hormones a bit, so I'm thinking that's why as well. Yeah, so cut down to 103. Gonna eat primarily an animal-based diet, so I still have some vegetables every now and then and some fruit, particularly pineapple, because pineapple, from my understanding, has bromine in it, which basically helps, if you're eating a high protein diet, basically helps your body digest the protein and synthesize and get into protein synthesis, which is, ideally what you want, particularly if you're in a caloric deficit. You don't really want to be going catabolic. So there's that. Looking to lift weights 4 days a week, and then on the other 3 days, the gym I go to has got like Pilates and stretching and things like that. I'm 31 now, so I should probably really start getting into mobility work. And then actual eating schedule. I'm thinking, because I'm currently doing one to two meals a day. So if I'm going to be eating in a caloric deficit, I think it's going to be easier to do just one big meal a day. Schedule it around lunchtime so it doesn't affect my sleep too much. And yeah, I think that's the overall plan. And yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces, but I want to do, but I don't really want to get into it right now. Yeah, sorry, I just had to tap on my card there. It's things like how I'm going to, keep looking after my skin, my hair, sleep pattern, things like that. Combination of those goals, I'm going to measure with my Whoop band, but I really want to focus on keeping consistency at the gym and keeping that diet clean. That's going to be 80% of the work, and then the other little bits and pieces, will help throughout the journey. And I'll try and research ways to make these videos more engaging. Like, I'm a lawyer by trade, right? I don't know anything about editing or that type of stuff, so I sort of figure it out as I go. But hold on. But yeah, I'll figure out a way to make these more engaging. If you have any suggestions on how I can do that, yeah, just let me know. But yeah, as you can hear, there's a lot of traffic here in Strathfield. Absolutely cooked. But yeah, that's it from me. So I'm gonna go. I'm walking to the gym now. I'm gonna train legs and lower body. So I might do like a little follow up after my gym session. So I'll see you after my session. Howdy all. Just finished my gym workout, and overall I'd say it was a success. I started off with 4 sets of 10 repetitions on the standing calf raise. So mainly focusing on full range of motion. So basically lowering the weight down till the weight hits the bit of metal. And then as I do the actual calf raise, I'll stand on the balls of my feet and I'll hold that position for 2 seconds. And then I'll lower the weight all the way down and then basically just do that slow controlled motion. So I did 4 sets of 10, pyramiding up. So started with 40, then 60, then 80, and then 100 kilos. And then from here, I would normally migrate over to leg curls. But about a week ago, I had a bit of a leg pull in my hamstring. So my left hamstring is still a bit tender. So I didn't do any leg curls. But based on my research, I got told basically if you have an injured muscle, to help release that tension in the injured muscle, you work out the opposing muscle, which basically in this case would be my quadriceps. So I did 4 sets of 10 of single leg extension, and then I did 4 sets of 10 of normal leg extension with both my legs. And then once that was done, I then moved over to hip abduction and hip adduction. So basically opening and closing your legs, the very masculine workout, or exercise I should say. And once that was done, I did about 4 sets of 10 back extensions. First set was unweighted, and then the remaining 3 sets were weighted with 10 kilos. So overall, feeling pretty good. But throughout the workout, man, I just can't believe how much time I spent playing this fucking video game on my iPad, man. 2,000 fucking hours. Sorry. Yeah, so I could have learnt, because I'm I'm learning Russian at the moment, and fluency is anywhere between 800 to 1,200 hours of study, right? With 2,000 hours, I could have been fluent, reasonably fluent in Russian, and then, fucking social in another language. So, or I could have, started this YouTube channel earlier. I could have, taken more steps to open up my own law firm, or, something of, sorry, I was crossing the road, something of substantive value. But instead I just wasted it on this stupid virtual fucking game. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it was just escapism. I've just moved, not just, but I've moved to Sydney about a year ago from Newcastle, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like Sydney that much. It's too congested, it's a hassle to get everywhere, and I haven't really been feeling that great. So I think as a way to cope with living in this big depressing concrete jungle. I've just been eating shit food and just playing video games. So a bit of introspection throughout my workout, you know, which is good because it helps me identify the issue and the areas of my life I want to work on. But at the same time, it really brings out that opportunity cost, you know. Instead of playing and wasting my time fucking laying in bed playing this game, what else could I have been doing? Now, granted, you know, it goes both ways. You know, I could have, you know, if I wasn't gaming, I could have been, you know, taking drugs. Not that I have an aversion to drugs, but like, you know what I mean? Or excessive consumption of alcohol or gambling or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So of all the things to be really addicted to, gaming, it does have a real world impact, but it's not as great. At least, you know, if I can just find something to keep my mind, you know, I'm not, my liver's not fucked, my skin's not fucked, I'm not getting into fights with anyone, I'm not in trouble with the law. So of all things to be addicted to, I'd say it's not that bad, but I just don't feel like I've progressed very far in life, you know? And it's not like I'm failing, right? Like, I'm working as a tax lawyer here in Sydney, but that's the only thing in my life I got going, you know? I don't have a girlfriend, I'm fat, I dip and dab in and out of different goals I want to achieve, and I'm just kind of just sick of, you know, being in the same position when mentally I know I can be a better version of myself. So that's kind of some of my thoughts. Bit of a rough day today, but also good, because now I realize what I don't want. I can now focus on what I do want, and that is to have a good body, develop fluency in Russian, and start looking at some, you know, business ideas or other creative ventures. And, you know, this video is the first start to it. May not be perfect, but, you know, I got to start somewhere. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. So other than that, I will be home. I'll cook some dinner, you know, clean my room up, get in a fresh mental space, and then I'm going to start reading my Russian grammar book, start developing a new habit. Because normally right now after gym I would go home and I would just fucking play video games. So create a positive habit after gym, maybe supplement that, and then yeah, hopefully I don't go back into gaming. Alright, until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace. Bye.